Well, happy Tuesday to you. It was it was meant to be a very snowy weekend here in Salt Lake, but it didn't turn out to be. But Solitude did open, and anyone that is looking at my LinkedIn feed will see me drive past it and show how many people are up there. There is not very much snow, but oh my gosh, I've never seen so many people desperate to ski. Skiing is it's a wonderful sport. Lots of people want to do it, even when there's not a ton of snow. Hopefully that changes when we get the usual big dumps that they're famous for here in Utah. Anyway, I'm reading a really interesting book by a guy named Tony Fadell called Build. And Tony Fadell worked for Apple. He was the brains behind the Nest thermostat. It's a really an interesting book, well worth reading. And it coincided with me actually writing with Spatial Advisors an ebook around really business success as a spatial or geospatial company, kind of the steps to success. And in that ebook, and I'm going to link to the ebook below actually, so if you want to get a copy of it, just there's a link. There'll be a link below this video, or above this video, wherever it sits. In that, I talk about a number of things: strategy, execution of sales and marketing plans. But one of the primary things I started with, and I mentioned this in other places, is that definition of your purpose, your what, your why, as Simon Sinek says. And in Tony's book, he multiple times talks about the importance of not starting with what, but starting with why. And I always lead in the work that I do and have done historically and I'm doing now with that question, what is your why? And a lot of people really struggle with that. When I go to a website, I'm working with an organization, or I've got a friend who runs an organization that I've been advising, and they're a software development company, but they announce on their webpage, they announce their what. We are leaders in software development, we don't use offshore labor, but everything they talk about is their what. And I've been we've been discussing how that why is so important, because that why is what we identify with as a potential customers. It's why we identify with different organizations. And I wanted to quote in this Simon Sinek. I've probably done this before, but I really think it's worth sort of lodging in your mind what that actually looks like. He gives an example of Apple. If Apple presented themselves back in the day as this organization who built elegant products, easy to use, they're just amazing computers, it doesn't really want you to buy their stuff as much. You could get, that would describe any other computer on the marketplace. But the way that Apple have always advertised themselves is in a way which starts with their why, which is, in everything we do, we try to be different. We challenge the status quo. Our products are elegantly designed, easy to use. We just happen to make great computers when you like to buy one. That second pitch, if you like, starting with why, is a much more compelling conversation, and it's one of the reasons why Apple have been so successful. And yet it's too easy for organizations to get stuck into that place describing their what and their how and not their why. So I'll probably touch on this theme a bit more this week, but I really wanted to emphasize that if you're building strategy, if you're thinking through how to talk about yourselves, whether it be in marketing channels, in marketing content, or in a sales conversation, starting with that purpose, that why, is absolutely critical. And again, it's worth noting how Apple have approached that, because they've been incredibly successful with their marketing and sales. So there's your Monday talk. I'll do another one probably tomorrow. Thanks for watching.